The town square shimmered under a bright noon sun, the fair alive with chatter and color. The scent of baked pies and polished leather hung in the air as Clara Reeves crossed the square, a basket of hand-sewn dresses balanced on her hip. It was her first fair since her husband died. She told herself she was ready to face people again. But courage, she'd learned, had a way of trembling when the world was watching. As she stepped onto the mayor's wife's stall, her heel caught on a bent nail. The tear came sharp and cruel, slicing through laughter and fiddle music. Then silence. Then whispers. "Well, look at that," someone said. "Seamstress can't even keep her own dress together." Laughter followed, spreading like fire. Clara froze, clutching the torn fabric near her thigh. Her basket fell, dresses scattered into the dust like fallen petals. She bent to gather them, but her hands shook too much. No one helped. Then a voice cut through the noise, low, steady, kind. "Ma'am." The crowd stilled. Elias Boone stepped forward, tall, broad-shouldered, shirt open at the collar, sleeves rolled. He didn't look at the tear, he looked at her. Without a word, he slipped off his coat and draped it around her shoulders, slow and deliberate, as if returning something the world had tried to steal. "Dignity's still yours," he said quietly. The laughter died. Elias knelt, gathering her fallen dresses, folding them carefully back into the basket. "Walk with me?" he asked. She hesitated, then nodded. As they crossed the square, the crowd parted. A child whispered, "Mama, why'd he give her his coat?" "Because some men still remember how to be decent," came the answer. At her wagon, she tried to hand it back. "I'll have it washed and returned tomorrow." "No hurry," he said. "It's doing its job." He tipped his hat and left her standing in the sunlight, the faint scent of cedar lingering in the air. By morning the fair was gone, but its laughter lingered. Clara could feel it in every glance, every polite silence. The coat hung over her chair, heavy and warm. She tried to fold it away but couldn't. It wasn't just a coat anymore, it was proof someone had stood up when everyone else had stepped back. That afternoon, hoofbeats broke the stillness. Elias rode in, dust on his boots, eyes calm. "You left this," she said, holding up the coat. "Didn't leave it," he replied. "Just lent it." She smiled faintly. "You've a strange way of lending things." "Maybe. But it fits you better than it ever fit me." She handed it back. "It's clean now." "Didn't need clean," he said. "Just needed to do its job." His eyes drifted to the sewing on her table. "You do all that alone?" "Always have." "Ain't it heavy?" "Sometimes. But lighter than depending on someone who'll drop it halfway." He nodded. "World's full of folks carrying shame that ain't theirs. You don't look like one of 'em." "You don't know me," she said softly. "Maybe not. But I know what it looks like when someone stands back up." When he left, she whispered to herself, "Then I'll keep standing." Days turned to weeks. Clara worked, stitched, mended. The sign Elias later carved, "Reeves and Repairs," hung proudly by her door. Business returned, and so did whispers. At the mercantile one morning, she heard two women. "She's done well for a widow," one said. "Too well, maybe. Think the rancher pays her in coin." The words hit like a slap. Clara turned, silent. They smiled sweetly, cruelly. She walked out, heart pounding. Outside, Elias crossed the street toward her, rope over his shoulder. "You all right?" "They're talking again." "They will," he said. "Till they've nothing left to invent." "I thought I stopped caring." "Then you're human," he said gently. "When a thread tears, what do? Cut it. Tie another. Then do that. Can't keep what's unraveled." She breathed out, steadier. "You make it sound easy." "Ain't easy," he said. Just right. He carried her basket home, setting it on the table. Don't let em shrink you, he said. Every time you stand taller, someone trips on their own envy. She smiled. You always have a sermon ready. Only the ones I need myself. A storm rolled in by week's end, wind clawing at her shutters. The creek swelled, thunder shook the walls. Just as she latched the last window, a knock came. Elias stood there, rain-soaked, calm as ever. Thought I'd check your roof, he said. It's holding, she replied. Barely. He stepped inside, dripping onto her floor. Tree took my road. Might wait it out here. Then sit, she said, handing him a towel. They drank coffee by the stove as the storm howled. You scared of storms? He asked. Used to be. Now I think they just tell the truth louder than we do. He smiled faintly. You ever get tired of holding strong? Sometimes. But it's the only way I know to stay upright. You ain't alone, he said, voice low. Lost my wife once. Thought if I built enough fences, I could keep the ache out. Does it work? No. But it keeps the wind off. She reached across the table, her hand finding his. Then maybe it's time someone built one for you. Guess that's why I came, he said softly. They sat in silence, the fire dimming. When he finally drifted to sleep, she covered him with the same coat he'd once given her. Morning came clear and gold. The storm had washed everything clean. They stepped outside into quiet air smelling of wet pine. They'll talk, Clara said. They already do, Elias answered. But today they'll be talking about the woman whose roof held. She laughed softly. You always know what to say. Just learn to quit saying the wrong things. She looked toward the horizon where sunlight broke through the clouds. I used to think storms came to tear things apart. Now I think they show what's built strong enough to stay. He nodded. You built something strong here, Clara. I didn't build it alone. He looked at her, eyes warm. Maybe that's not an accident. Inside, the coat hung drying near the door. It no longer looked borrowed, it looked like it belonged. You never gave it back, he said quietly. You never asked. Didn't have to. It found its home. So did you, she whispered. He smiled, the kind that didn't need words. By Sunday, the fair returned to the same square. Clara came early, basket in hand, coat folded neatly over her arm, not as armor, but peace. People watched as she set up. No whispers, only silence. Still doing custom work? A woman asked. Always, Clara said. Strong seams last longer than rumors. Elias arrived with a small wrapped bundle. Inside was a new sign carved from oak, Reeves and Boone, honest work, honest hands. You didn't ask, he said. Didn't have to, she replied. The crowd quieted. A boy whispered, is he her husband? Not yet, his father said. But maybe that's better. Some things are built before they're named. Elias leaned close. Town's watching again. Let them, she said. They might learn something. He smiled. You think they'll ever stop talking? When they find better stories, she answered. Till then, we'll give them ones worth remembering. A little girl tugged her sleeve. Miss Clara, Mama says your dresses don't tear. Only if you promise to be kind to the ones who wear them. I will, the child said. Elias looked at Clara, voice soft. You fixed more than dresses here. You fixed something in folks they didn't know was broken. Maybe that's what the coat was meant for all along, she said. Not to hide me, just to remind them. He nodded. Then it did its job. As the sun climbed higher, the sign behind them caught the light, two names carved side by side. Some things, once sewn together, can't be torn apart. That night, they sat on the porch as the crickets sang. The coat lay across her lap, soft from use, its stitches, hers and another woman's, woven into one. "You never told me where it came from," she said. "Belonged to my wife," he said quietly. "She made it the first winter out west. Said a man should have something warm enough to face the cold, and kind enough to share if someone needed it more." Clara smiled faintly. "Then maybe she's still doing her work." He looked at her, eyes gentle. "Reckon she is." The night deepened around them, the lamp between them flickering low. And as the coat swayed in the wind, Clara whispered, "Some things aren't meant to be returned, they're meant to stay and remind you who you are." So if you'd seen her that day, the torn dress, the trembling hands, the crowd's laughter, would you have stepped forward, too?